Alrighty, so it's Steelers-Cowboys week. Probably the greatest interconference rivalry in NFL history. These two teams go all the way back. Super Bowls. They've met 3 times in the Super Bowl, twice in the 70s. Both times the Steelers have won. Once in the 90s. That's the one the Steelers lost. The Steelers and the Cowboys in the regular season, anytime they get together, it's usually not what you'd expect. Like, the last couple of years, the Cowboys have gotten the best of the Steelers, even though the Steelers played really well in those games for the most part. It's always the last play by the Steelers that ends up losing the game for them. Like in 2012, it's Ben Roethlisberger throwing the interception to the Cowboys. They kicked the overtime game-winning field goal in the end. Then in 2016, when Roethlisberger throws the fake spike touchdown to Antonio Brown at the end, you would think that the Steelers win that game, it's over. And then Ezekiel Elliott just runs into the end zone as the defense doesn't really do anything after the Steelers defense doesn't do anything after that, and the Cowboys end up winning that game. So here we are in 2020, and the Steelers and Cowboys are playing a game. Steelers are looking incredible right now, 7-0. Even though the last couple of games have been close calls, but they've won them nonetheless. And the Cowboys have just looked terrible. They're sitting right now at 2-6, and yet they still have a chance to make the playoffs because the NFC East is just so terrible right now. Although Philadelphia has the lead in that right now. They get the bye week this week, so that's that. But yeah, like, this is one of those games where you look at it and you think, okay, the Steelers should easily go into Dallas and win this game, but that thought of the trap game just comes back into your mind. Like, the next 3 games for the Steelers are games that they should win, but they could also be trap games as well. They could be games that the Steelers mess up on one and then the other team just takes over. This could be Dallas this week, Cincinnati the next week. Joe Burrow's getting really good. Like, he beat a pretty good Tennessee Titans team last week. And then you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, and those 3 teams do not look good, but either one of those games, the Steelers could end up losing one of them, and that's kind of what's got me worried about this game coming up, because, I mean, look at what they're facing when they go to Dallas. They're facing a team that doesn't have Dak Prescott, or even Andy Dalton. Ben DiNucci hasn't been that good, so he's benched. Cooper Rush is not, their 4th-string quarterback is not doing well. He'll be the backup for this. And then Garrett Gilbert, their 5th-string quarterback, is the guy that supposedly is going to start this game. So you got a 5th-string quarterback. There's a chance you might not even have Ezekiel Elliott there. He's pulled a hamstring. Right now, they're saying it's questionable, but there's a chance that he may play. And, I mean, the defense of the Cowboys has just been terrible. I mean, yeah, Trayvon Diggs has came on last week in the loss against Philadelphia, but yeah, the defense just hasn't been looking that good for the Cowboys. And again, you'd think that the Steelers can go into this and just go in there and get an easy win, but it's never easy with the Cowboys because the Cowboys they never give up. Like, the Steelers usually go in there as the favorites in this game, as they are in these games, as they are in this game. I think right now they're like 13.5-point favorites in this one. So, yeah, I mean, I hope that they finally buck out of this trend that they've been in, underplaying to the Cowboys. I hope they don't play down to them. I think if they go down there, they should just run the score, just score as many times as you can, because you can do that against this Cowboys team. They're just not that good. And Mike McCarthy has beaten the Steelers in AT&T Stadium. Of course, everyone knows Super Bowl 45, Steelers, Green Bay Packers. Packers outplayed the Steelers in that one. Packers won the Super Bowl that year. Insert giant spider invasion jokes here. But yeah, Mike McCarthy knows how to play against the Steelers. Even though he's never beaten them in the regular season, even in Green Bay. Just that thought in the back of your head that somehow they're going to pull this off. This is a tough one. It's going to be tougher than I think a lot of people will expect it to be. I'm not picking the Cowboys to win this game. I think the Steelers do win this game, but I think it's going to be, like I've been saying the last couple of weeks, it's going to be much closer than you think it's going to be. And, I don't know, just that feeling, like, the fact that the Steelers have had 2 close wins the last 2 weeks against Tennessee, when Stephen Gostkowski missed that field goal, and and last week against the Ravens when Lamar Jackson throws it into the end zone. If Minka Fitzpatrick doesn't make that push in the end zone, then Ravens end up winning that game. So that fear is that third time's the charm where the Steelers are going to get screwed over by this, but I'm going to hope that the Steelers pull through this. I'm predicting the Steelers to win this one. I don't think it's going to be a bloodbath, although I wish it would be, but can't ever let the Cowboys out of your sight, especially since they still have a slim chance to make the playoffs at this point because they're in such a terrible division. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to watch. I'm still picking the Steelers to win this one. Before I go, I should mention this next clip from the Jerome Bettis show. I actually took this clip early in the morning because the NBC affiliate WPXI here was going to play the Clemson Notre Dame game earlier today, is on Saturday, and they were going to have the Jerome Bettis show at the regular times at 7:30 or 1 o'clock, so I had to get the early morning airing of this. So most of this is in my bed, so the reason why the camera's like tilted is because I'm still like trying to sleep a little bit, so not while I'm recording this, but I just want to get that clip on there before and then head back to bed. So apologies if the camera's tilted for this next clip, but that's just what happened. So here we go.
It's time now to beat the bus syndrome after you worked your way all the way back from an early season deficit to tie things up. I took back first place, at least for the time being. I beat the Raiders, both the Browns, and now I hold a one-game lead in the Beat the Bus Challenge. But as we've said, it is a long season. Let's start this week, as we always do, with the Steelers on the road against the Cowboys. Jerome?
I'm going with the Steelers to win this football game. Obviously, we talked about how dangerous this game is, being a trap game and all of that. I still believe the Steelers find a way to win this football game. It's not close to a lot of people would want it to be, but I still believe the Steelers come out on top.
Well, let's look at all of our picks. The Steelers and the Cowboys, no surprise. We're all taking the Steelers for the win, but I do like your points to be closer than people think. The Vandal Sportsbook line as of this show taping is a whopping 13.5 points in favor of the Steelers. Big judge for Dallas. In our next game, the Ravens at the Colts. Ravens favored by 2.5 on the road. We all have the Ravens winning this one. And finally, the big Sunday night showdown in the NFC South on Channel 11. The Saints at the Bucks. I'm alone here, but I'm going with the favorite, Tom Brady and Tampa. They're favored by 4.5. You can check sportsbook.fanduel.com money up to the minute betting lines.
Today's Pepsi Picks, brought to you by Pepsi, the official soft drink of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Will the Steelers get to 8-0? Rich, what do you say?
It's obvious, right? The Steelers should win this big. They're huge favorites in this game, and this should be a blowout. But historically, the Steelers have struggled as big road favorites. I don't think it happens today, mainly because of the Cowboys' quarterback situation and how bad the defense is.
Charlie, what do you say?
The Cowboys stink on defense. They are going to give up 38 points today, so the Steelers offense will cruise in the third quarter, giving way to the backups. They win this game 38-10.
I think it's going to be a unanimous selection here. Jerry Dulac of the Post-Gazette has the Steelers winning this game. As you can see, big, and so do I. And now...
Opportunity they have deferred here at the top. They're going to send it down to Ray McCloud, and the Steelers playing their third consecutive road game. Wins at Tennessee, win at Baltimore, and now back in Dallas for the first time since 2012. McCloud.
If you're a Cowboy fan, you're like, you got to be kidding me. So it's going to be, well, timeout call first. Away after the stick. Here's the
Oh, he made it! He missed the 54-yarder, and he got the 59-yarder. Huh. Well, that was certainly a trip and a half. And we're not even done with the game yet. We're only halfway through it. But besides that awesome field goal at the end, this is looking pretty bad. I mean, I'll give them credit that they're coming back, which is good, because they were looking terrible for much of this first half. And Ben Roethlisberger got injured. his leg got hit. I guess he got hit in the head too. So I don't know about this one. I really don't. This isn't like last week where it looked like the team was down and everything, but they still had a chance to come back. If Ben Roethlisberger doesn't come back in this game, this is going to be pretty scary to watch in the second half. I mean, I just don't get it. I just don't get it. Why can't the Steelers ever prepare to play the Cowboys, even how bad they are? It's like this has happened 2 times already. And now here we are again. This is going to be a trip. This is going to be a trip. I don't know how they do it, but they always do it.
Almost like he's running through somebody on his way.
Steeler defense finally came up big.
Is why Mike Tomlin said. Steps in. Steelers once again in the game, defending a pass in the end zone to stay unbeaten.
Wow.
Patrick was the closest to it, and for the first time in their decorated franchise history, Pittsburgh is 8-0.
Well, I look pretty good for a 61-year-old because let me tell you something. Oh my God, these last 3 weeks have taken 10 years off my life every single week. I'm 31 years old, so yeah, that would make me 61 years old. Not really, but you get what I mean. But man, like, out of all the games, the 3 games that they've played these last 3 weeks, Tennessee, Baltimore, and now Dallas, this was the one that I really did think that they did not deserve to win because they did not look good at all today. They did come back in the second half. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, you got to give it to him for hanging in there. Like, he's a tough guy. Like, he looked like a pretty rough knee injury, but I mean, he played pretty well in that second half. He got them right where they wanted them, but when they had the chance to win the game, that everyone in this game kind of did pretty badly, the coaching staff. But if you're Mike Tomlin, I don't get why you go for it on 4th down to win the game instead of kicking the field goal when you have the advantage right there. You could just end it right there, and didn't do that. Tried to get James Conner the ball on 4th and 1. They didn't get it, and blood pressure, heart attacks probably went up all over Western Pennsylvania, but in the end, another Steelers victory. They are 8-0 for the first time in franchise history, and they get way too lucky here. They're getting way too lucky on these, and one day that luck's gonna run out. So, as I've said the last couple of weeks, enjoy it while it lasts because you never know when it's going to end. Next week, they got Cincinnati. It's going to be another late afternoon game. Joe Burrow looked pretty good last week against Tennessee. They're on their bye weeks this week, so we will see what happens. And like I said, enjoy it while it lasts because we don't know if we're ever going to see this again in our lifetime. So that's it. And now I'm going to go rest for a little bit. Oh, boy.